the concept of this video starts with the what power calculation, but really is going to dive into the idea of logarithms, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So I want to jump into the idea of why we're doing what we're doing. So when we start solving for exponential, so the thing we just finished, right, exponential functions, and we want to solve for x, let's say we know the answer, but we don't know what the variable would be. Before logarithms or what power was created, essentially you'd have to guess and check. So you'd be like, to the fifth, and you put that in, no. To the sixth, no. To the seventh, no. To the eighth, getting closer. To the ninth, and you're like, oh, that's really close. Well, it's between to the 8th to the 9th, and then you have to start increasing that. Is it 2.85, 2 to the 8.25? Like, so it's just guess and check, right? Not efficient, not achieving the thing that we're trying to achieve in a timely manner. So what pops up are these what power ideas, right? So you could rewrite this or think about this as what power of 2 is 8, okay? What power of 2 is 8? So essentially you could rewrite this as 2 to the power of x is 8, and then the answer you get is the exponent, okay? So what power of 3 is 9, right? Something like this. So when you solve for x, you get, well, x is 2 because 3 squared is 9, right? So bringing up the same example we just did, 2 to the x power is 1,000. It would be what power of 2 is 1,000, and then when you do this, you would put your answer there. So essentially, the idea is we're solving for an exponent, right? We're trying to figure out what that exponent would be. So this led to this idea of like, well, wait, if I have the base and I have the answer, there has to be a way that I can solve for the exponent, right? So if you're like, I'm not following you, well, this was just, oh, you can't see that. This was just 2 to the power of x equals 1,000, right? And we want to know what x is without guess and check. So then here comes the idea of logarithms. Okay, that's why it was created. It's what it kind of does. So a logarithm, first of all, is like a what power function. Okay, so it is determining the power of this. So if I wanted to rewrite this as a logarithm, I would write it as log base 2 of 1,000 is, and then here would be the actual number 8 point something, right? So notice that essentially that what power idea was pretty much a log. It just took log's place. So a logarithm is figuring out what power of 2 is 1,000. All right, so this is kind of how you go back and forth between a log and an exponent. All right, so remember that in an exponent we call this b value the base. Okay, so the base becomes the subscript right there, or the base of the logarithm. Okay, the base of the logarithm is the same thing as the base of the exponent. All right, the actual exponent, the y value, is what we're finding the answer for. All right, and the solution or the answer after the exponent is x. So the first thing we're going to do is actually go through and rewrite some of these, okay? So how do we take an exponent, an exponential equation, and write it as a log, and vice versa? So, for example, in this case, I'm being asked to rewrite this logarithm as an exponent. So there's a trick to it. I call it the circle, okay? So the circle starts at the subscript and moves around this way. So 13 to the power of 2 equals 169. So see how I'm starting? I hit the 2, that's a square, and then to the 169. So for this one, again, if I make the circle, I hit 5 to the 4th equals 625. So you try the next two and see how you do. Push pause in this video to give you time to work. So hopefully you were able to see that, again, that circular pattern just kind of walks you through exactly where all the things go. What happened if I asked you to write as a logarithm? Remember, that's just a what power thing, right? So we're doing the log base 15, 225 is 2, right? So this is always the exponent, always the exponent. So in this one, I would say the log base y of x is, oh, I'm sorry, that's not right. Didn't mean to confuse you. Log base y of 30 is x, right? That is our exponent. So again, try the next two, push pause to give yourself some time, and then check your answers. All right, so hopefully you're kind of seeing how to rewrite logs as exponents and rewriting exponents as logs, because that's going to be the first task you do today. The second thing you can do is just go ahead and calculate a logarithm, right? So to calculate a logarithm, you can just put this into your calculator. So to do this, I want to show you how to do it in your actual calculator. So we're going to do this first one, number one, log base 4 of 16, 384. So log base 4 of 16, 384. Okay, so obviously you won't have a picture of hot air balloons on your calculator, but what you're going to do is you're going to hit the calculate. Okay, so you're going to go into calculate, not graph or anything. You're going to go into calculate, and once you're in calculate, you're going to hit this second button right here, or the control button, and then you're going to hit the 10 to the x, because if you look here, that says log. And what will pop up in your calculator is log, and then there'll be a box here and a box here, okay? So in the first box, you're going to put your 4 in, and in your second box, you're going to put in your 16,384, no comma needed. And then you're going to hit enter. And when you do that, you're going to get the number 7. So that would mean that 4 to the 7th power is 16,384. So again, that's from hitting control and hitting the log button. If you don't hit control, it's just going to bring up 10 to a power, which is not what you want. Okay? So we know that this one is 7. If we do number 2, again, we're putting in control, 10 to the x. We're putting in the 3 and the 81. And essentially, 3 to what power is 81? And that's 4. Okay? So once you complete this list, check it when you're done to make sure you're on the right track. But this is the very basics of logarithms and exponents. Okay? So today you're going to work a lot on rewriting these. How do you rewrite a logarithm? How do you rewrite an exponential as a log? And then how do you actually calculate the logarithms? All right? If you have any questions, you can always ask.